How's it going, everybody? My name is Absoulem, and welcome to the round by round Dark Ops challenge guide for Terminal, where we have to beat the main Easter egg on Terminus after round 50. That means going into the boss fight on 51. Now, this is in no way an easy challenge. It's not quite the round 100, which will be our next Dark Ops challenge, but this one is probably one of the more difficult challenges on the list. So, I'm going to do my best to show you an authentic way to beat this. I'm not going to be using any sort of like out of map glitches or any kind of crazy spawn tricks or anything like that. I wanted to showcase a solo run that is just authentic and shows you how to get this done relatively easy. It is going to test your training skills, it's going to test your patience, but hopefully following this method you should have no problem getting this after a couple tries. So let's get into the loadout and get this challenge started. So I've done this challenge a bunch of different times to test different guns, and I think the GS45 is the most reliable in solo. My second pick would be the ASG, and then my third would be the Frostline Sniper. But I think the GS45, even though it burns ammo really quick and we're going to be spending a lot of money, it doesn't really matter in solo, as we will have plenty of money by the time we get to the boss. So it's a good gun to have to just clear out zombies and do some damage. So if you want to run that one, great. You could also run the ASG, or you could run both. You could buy one of them off the wall once you're in the game. So it's personal preference at that point, but I'm going to be showcasing the GS45. Now for the melee, you could run the combat knife or the power drill, whichever one you want. We want to run Ether Shroud, and then lethal and tactical are up to you. As for the gobblegums, I would heavily recommend Idolize and Instakill for the boss fight. I'm going to be showcasing those in the boss fight, and then I'll also show you a method without gobblegums if you don't have them. But I would recommend those two gobblegums if possible. Now going into the augments, I'm going to highlight over or hover over each one, and I'll mention the ones that I think are important, but I will showcase everything on the right side there. So going over quick revive, I think equivalent exchange. I think reactive armor for Jug is good, and then also having the hardened plates. Melee is not really that important, but that's what I'm running. Speed Cola having supercharged. PhD having PhD slider and tribologist is a great way to get through hordes of zombies or just get around the map. Deadshot having the Deadhead and Dead Break just to do extra armor damage. And then Elemental Pop, I have Electric Cherry and Chillberry. Electric Cherry is really for the boss fight when we get cornered, and then when I reload, it stuns the zombies. And that's for a really niche situation that you will run into with the amalgams. So it's just a nice thing to have on there if you have it. As for the ammo mod, we're going to be running Deadwire with Lightning Strike and Haste. And then our field upgrade for Ether Shroud is going to be Burst Dash and Extra Charge. So that's the full loadout. Let's get into the game and go over this challenge. What's going on, you bunch of mutants? Welcome to the round by round Dark Ops challenge guide for Terminal, where we have to beat Terminus after round 50. So this is not an easy challenge. This is not a short challenge. This should take you probably between 2 to 3 hours in solo. There are ways to speed it up, which I will mention if you wanted to cheese this a little bit, but I'm going to be trying to show you an authentic way to do this. So we're going to be doing everything just the normal way. Hopefully that'll help you out if they patch anything. And essentially the first 20 rounds or so, we're just going to be doing the main Easter egg. I'm not going to showcase the entire thing, as this is more about the challenge itself and less about the actual Easter egg, but I will give you some highlights along the way. And we should be done with the main Easter egg by about round 15 or 20, somewhere in there. Just feel like, just don't rush it, just get through the Easter egg. Try to not die, don't waste any downs on the Easter egg itself. You'll want to save that for the higher rounds if needed. But yeah, we're just going to get through the Easter egg, and then we'll do some side Easter eggs and start the actual method to survive to round 50. And so yeah, I'll check in with you on some of the milestones, and we'll get started. There is one other question I'm sure you guys are wondering, which is, can you save and quit? And the answer is yes, you can save and quit. So when you're doing this main Easter egg, you want to make sure to save as much salvage as possible. I would also be trying to farm as much salvage as possible by doing side Easter eggs and things like that. I'll show you a few ways to build up salvage or save salvage along the way. But you want to save as much as you can, because after round 35 or so, that's when things start getting a little bit more difficult with super sprinters and the amalgams and the manglers and everything. And we're going to want to have a ton of salvage built up. It's one of the big reasons I'm running the Beam Smasher and the GS45, is so that I don't have to upgrade a second gun. So if you're one of those people that chose to run the ASG and the GS45, whichever gun you're going to buy off the wall, I would hold off until it's orange at least. Just so you don't have to spend all that salvage, because that's a lot. At this point, I'm ready for the Nathan fight. I'm going to go ahead and get my last perk, which will be Speed Cola. But I also wanted to point out that if you are worried about this fight, you could do the stuffed animal Easter egg to have a revive, essentially. So I'm just going to quickly show you the locations. There's one right there. The next one's going to be in the PhD flopper tunnel right there. The next one's on Crab Island, the southernmost island over here, by this light right there. The next one is my favorite one. It's the little duck, and it's right there in the dumpster. He's special to me. I don't know. Our next stuffed animal is going to be over here on this bridgeway right there in the corner. And then finally over here in the locker next to Stamina, where we find a unicorn, because that's where you keep those. And when we're ready, we can just come and interact with the stuffed animals however you want to do so. And they will make an amalgamation of stuffed animals. It's our own amalgam. So anyways, that'll revive you if you go down. And it does some damage on zombies. So it's just a nice little thing to have for the Nathan fight and or just the game itself. So it doesn't hurt to do it. If you're struggling with this Nathan fight, allow me to demonstrate how to make this a joke. So we go ahead and beam smash our zombies, slow them down until Nathan gets affected, kind of. And then we're just going to go ahead and melt him with our GS45s, as you can see. And once he gets caught up to us, what I do is I just run a little bit further ahead. And then we rinse and repeat. Alright, so I am done with the Easter egg, and now I'm just going to be farming points and salvage on these early rounds. So basically up until round 30, we're going to take advantage of the just the easier trains, not having super sprinters, not as many manglers and amalgams. So in this area right here is going to be our main training spot for the whole game. But our method here will just be to hoard them up and then use our beam smasher and then take them out with our pistols. That's going to save us a lot of extra bullets where we only have to shoot once or twice. So I'll show you what that looks like here, but right now we're just trying to build points and salvage to get set up. So here's what this would look like on these early rounds. It's not too bad. Just let them all spawn in and get hoarded up as much as you can. As you can see, I have a few friends here. And usually when I'm going up the ramp is when I like to beam smash. So right about here, just check the spawns there. You can go ahead and hit it. And then as you see, like one bullet will save us quite a bit of time and ammo. So we want to just rinse and repeat this and essentially get to the end of the round, collect all the salvage, get all the points, and then in between rounds you can go get more perks or get set up at whatever you need. So that way we're only burning a couple bullets here. So in order to get more points or salvage or maybe a free ammo mod or something like that, you can be doing a lot of the side Easter eggs. Now there's a lot of them on this map, as I'm sure you're aware. So you could be doing the Void Cannon Easter egg, you could be doing the basketball Easter egg. We've already done the stuffed animal one. If you wanted, you could do the pest Easter egg where you shoot these spores on each island over the course of 3 rounds. There's also all the chests. I think there's 11 in total on the map. But you could go hit all the chests for points and salvage. Essentially just try to milk everything you can do on this map to get as set up as possible, and that'll speed up our later rounds. So that's everything. Now I'm just going to progress to about 30, I guess. And then I think that's when like most people would start struggling with this challenge. Last piece of advice though is to start thinking about saving points and things like that. Like be aware of when a pest round is coming and don't buy ammo right before a pest round or something. Don't pack a punch your beam smasher unless you absolutely have to. We'll do that later if we can. But since it's only used for slowing them down like that, we don't want to pack it if we have a bunch of ammo in it just because we can. So you're really going to want to save points for the later rounds. And we're going to be going through ammo pretty quickly. And you're definitely going to want to have as much points as possible. So in these next 10 rounds, get your gun to pack 3, your main gun. Get it to orange if you haven't already. Have it with dead wire. And basically get all your perks and your armor. Just so you have a benchmark of where you might be at. On round 25, I still don't have my beam smasher pack-a-punched, but my pistol is orange and triple packed with dead wire. I have 6 perks, and I'm intentionally holding off on the last 2 perks, melee macchiato and elemental pop. Just for now, in case you go down, you don't want to spend your money, on the perks that aren't that crucial. So I'm just going to save them for a little bit later, and I'll get them probably around like 35 or so. But this way I can get everything upgraded and be set up. So just so you have a benchmark at the halfway point of this challenge, like where you should be at. And yeah, that's about it. All right, another progress report. I just want to show you what round 30 is. The beam smasher method is still just absolutely crushing it, as you'll see right here. So just get them lit up a little bit, a couple bullets, and like half the wave is dead. So that's how it is right now. It's pretty much going to stay like this for a little while. So if you do this method, I promise you this is probably the safest and easiest way to go about this if you're not going to be like glitching or something. Also, don't be forgetting about the armory. I would only use the orange keys every so often. You know, just don't use a purple one or anything. But you'll get orange keys pretty frequently at this point from round 30 onward. So just don't be forgetting to use the armory. It is a nice little tool to have extra loot and salvage and stuff like that. So I wanted to showcase a start of a round here in the higher rounds, because once we get to about round 40, 42, we're going to start a different strategy. So these rounds here from like 38 to 42 or so, I just wanted to showcase what these look like just at the start, so you can see like the process, I guess, and it's not just like a clip from the round. So I start usually by just sliding around. If I think I'm about to get cornered, I just slide into them. That's why I'm running the PhD. And I always come out over here and pull them away. And then that will open up this like lane right here. And then from the clips you've seen already in my gameplay, this is usually when I would hit record. And you'll see that they're all just grouped up. And then I can just casually take out a whole horde. And if I ever think like, oh no, I can't get through, I'll just go up and over and, you know, start over. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Looks like we have an amalgam, so I'll go ahead and show what that looks like. It's not hard. So I probably could have finished it, but I just didn't want to die. So just keep running laps pretty much. That's really all it is. Slow everybody down. And that's how easy amalgams are, even on this round. Alright, so at this point you should have close to 20,000 salvage, which will be plenty to carry us through the rest of the challenge and get us set up for the boss fight. So at this point, you want to be looking for any sort of chopper gunners or mutants or anything like that that are on the ground. Go ahead and use those as much as possible. But in terms of the actual strategy, we are going to have enough salvage to craft a mutant injection once per round, and then we'll have one for the boss fight. So what I would recommend is going one mutant injection and then getting to the end of the round, seeing if there's one on the ground. If not, then go buy one and start the next round. And I wouldn't activate it until you know for sure it's a zombie round, so you don't accidentally waste it on a vermin round or a pest round or whatever. And then what we want to do is, if you're running really low on salvage and we're still not to round 51, then we need to at least have one mutant injection going into the boss. So just be mindful that you're not going to blow all your salvage getting to 50. So if we know it's a zombie round, what we're going to do is come over here to this room. The spawns are going to get really hectic and really fast. But that's okay, because we're a mutant. So now we're just going to sit in here. The only thing you need to do is just obviously like kill everything in sight. But you need to make sure that when it runs out, you're not trapped in this room. That's the only thing. So I like to position myself kind of in the middle. Keep an eye on your meter on the bottom left corner or wherever it is for you. And you're going to get through most of the round this way. Anytime we have a big guy, we come in there. So now I'm almost done with my meter, and you can see I've already made it through the entire round. So hopefully that shows you kind of like what to be doing. You should make it through the round, but if not, you know, I would make sure you're like right about here when it runs out. That way you can go back to our normal method and kill the last like 10 or 15 zombies. Wow, we did the whole round. That was really tough. I'm sure glad I had a mutant injection. Otherwise, I don't think I could have done it. Just make sure when you end the round, obviously, to go get another mutant injection before you do so. Get whatever you might need, like plates or anything, you know, in case you somehow mess it up or something. Now we're just going to keep this strategy rolling until round 50, and we need to complete 50 and then go into the boss fight on 51. You can't go in on 50, although it will round it in the middle of the boss fight, and that still does count, I found out. But it's best just to go ahead and round it to 51 and don't risk it. All right, once you reach the end of round 50, it's time to get prepped for the boss. So I bought all my perks. You want to pack-a-punch everything fully, get legendary, top off your armor, upgrade your armor if you haven't, and make sure your field upgrade's ready. And I bought monkey bombs. Like, I'm just kitted out fully. That's the point. The only thing I'm going to say you have to bring in is a mutant injection. That's going to make things a lot easier. But ideally, you could have your idolize or insta-kill if you chose to do that. I may be bringing in my Idolize just to show you how that would work, but those are certainly not needed. It just makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, at this point, we want to end the round and then start the boss fight after the round changes. I typically kill a zombie once the round changes just to register that we're on that round. All right, so I'm going to show you the key moments. I'm not going to show you the entire fight, but because this is probably already a long video, but I wanted to showcase the beginning because this is an important part. So all we're going to be doing is just running circles. Don't worry too much about the boss or the zombies. I mean, if you can hit them, great, but all we want them to do is start breaking these boxes for us. That'll clear up the whole path and let you get familiar with the actual pathing. So I just want to go over a couple things. So obviously he has weak spots on each phase. Each phase gets progressively harder. And then in between the phases, there's like a survival part, kind of like the Dreisendrach fight, but a little bit different. All right, so at this point, all the boxes are broken. So now you'll see that his left or right shoulder is going to have an orange little dot on it. Usually takes a second to spawn in. So right there, that's our weak spot. We want to just try to hit it as much as we can. Don't worry about sitting there and like doing as much damage as you can. We just want to do some and keep running. The people that struggle with this fight, what it seems to be is that they just don't keep running. You try to fight the zombies, you try to stand still, and if you can tell, standing still is going to get you killed. Alright, once you do about a quarter of its damage, or health bar, it'll go to the zombies where you just have to kill. You can either run circles and just keep killing, or you can kind of stand still in the where you spawn in at. I like to just run circles. At this point, I like to use my beam smasher and just get some kills here with that. Speed it up a little bit. So phase 2 is going to be his mouth in the center there. We just want to bait him again like we were. Just bring him to one side, kind of slow down just a tad. Once he spawns in, go ahead and hit his weak spot, and then just keep it moving. Alright, so phase 2 is done. At this point, it's going to be his arms now. The glowing spots on his arms. And let me see, right there. Once you break one of his arms, the other one, it'll go out, and then you'll have to target the other one. Oh no. So this is all you would do if you got trapped. So we're almost done here with this last phase. Alright, so there we go. Now it's going to go into one more lockdown, and then we're going to be trapped by the ammo cache. Alright, so my dumbass used my mutant injection by accident before I needed to. So I will just tell you when to use it. Now at this point, it's the final phase. This is where things get really hard, I would say, and this is where you would want to use your mutant injection. So his eyes in the middle of his face, I don't know where else his eyes would be, but that's where you need to hit him. So if you have the ability to hit a mutant injection, do that. I just messed up badly. And then whenever he does those AoE attacks, sit behind the pillars over here. And you want to target those amalgams. They will kill you. So this is where your mutant injection would have just ended the fight already. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my Idolize. And so this was, if you can imagine, an Idolize plus a mutant would be ideal. And there we go. So even without a mutant injection, honestly, it might be better that I didn't show you a mutant injection. But now you can imagine it. Just wait till the third phase when his face is glowing blue. Pop an Idolize, pop a mutant injection on that last part, and you'll have no issues whatsoever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just train circles on phase 1 and 2. Just always keep moving, do a little bit of damage. Phase 3, pop an Idolize and a mutant injection and shoot his face quite a bit, and you'll be in the cutscene in no time. All right, that wraps up the round-by-round Dark Ops challenge guide for Terminal, beating Terminus after round 50. It's a little bit of a longer challenge, a little bit more difficult than the normal ones, but hopefully with this video you guys can get this done. I hope it was thorough enough to show you what to do and when to do it. Personally, I think this is a really cool Dark Ops to go for. I love this calling card. I think it's probably one of the sickest ones, that or the speedrun one, but either way, I hope that this helped you guys. Thank you guys all for all the support on this series. It's been a really fun time, and we only have one more video left, so that's the round 100. That will be my next video, and then afterwards I have a surprise video, and then it's on to Citadel. So we have an exciting couple days here, and thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Absoulem, and I will see you in my next video.